But safety as something you build slowly and faithfully, breath by breath, inside yourself, in a body that has perhaps never in your adult life been allowed to fully exhale. And that changes today. Let's begin. I want to tell you something that took me a very long time to understand. Something I didn't have the words for until long after I left. Until I found myself in a quiet room with books and training and the slowly dawning recognition of what my body had been doing for decades. I mistook fear for love. Not once, not in the beginning when everything was new and the highs were dizzying and the connection felt unlike anything I'd ever experienced, but as a sustained daily, decades-long practice. I mistook the feeling of high alert, the hypervigilance, the scanning, the constant low hum of waiting for something to either go wrong or go incredibly right, for the feeling of being alive, of being loved, of being in something that mattered. Because here is what nobody tells you. When the nervous system has been calibrated to chaos, when you have grown up in an environment or spent enough years in a relationship where unpredictability was the norm and tension was the baseline, the body begins to associate that state with connection, with intimacy, with home. Calm, by contrast, felt suspicious. Quiet felt like the silence before something exploded. Steadiness felt boring, not because I was someone who craved drama, but because my nervous system had been so thoroughly trained on the frequency of crisis that anything less felt like absence, like numbness, like something was wrong. I didn't know I was addicted to the chemistry of fear. I thought this was love. When the love bombing happened, those intoxicating early periods or the returns after the storms, my nervous system lit up with a relief so profound it felt like joy, like coming home. The dopamine surge of the danger passing, the oxytocin of being held after being hurt, the body doing what it was wired to do, registering all of that as this is love. This is what love feels like. This is the feeling I need to return to. And so I did. I returned over and over, even when my mind knew something was deeply wrong, even when the evidence was undeniable, even when everyone around me could see what I couldn't, because I wasn't looking with my eyes. I was feeling with a nervous system that had been trained to call this feeling love. Now, after I left, in the strange, quiet early months, I kept waiting for the feeling to arrive. You know, the feeling of love, of being home, of being safe. And it didn't come. Not in the way I expected. Because what came instead was stillness. And my nervous system, conditioned to alertness, to scanning, to the perpetual hum of managed crisis, read that stillness as emptiness, as wrong, as the absence of love. It took time, and it took understanding. Not just intellectual understanding, though that helped, but somatic understanding, the body understanding, in its own language of breath and sensation, that the stillness was not emptiness, it was peace. And peace was not the absence of something. It was the presence of something I had never been permitted to feel before. Safety, I discovered, does not feel like what I expected. It feels like almost nothing. It feels like breathing and learning to call that feeling home. That was the real work. And perhaps your path to this moment looked different from mine. Perhaps it was not a relationship, but the accumulated weight of years of chronic stress, maybe a career that demanded everything, or a life that moved too fast to hear yourself think, anxiety that became so familiar you stopped questioning it, or a childhood that left you feeling neglected, lost, and unworthy. Perhaps you were simply never taught that your body was allowed to rest. Whatever brought you here, it doesn't matter, because what we are building on the other side is exactly the same. Now let's go over the cosmic sky. We are in the waning phase of the moon this week. The days immediately following the full moon in Libra that peaked on April 1st. Well, this is one of my favorite moon phases to work with because it carries such a specific and underused energy, the energy of integration. During the illumination of this full moon, it showed us, sometimes uncomfortably, sometimes with startling clarity, what was there. The relationships where we lost our balance, the patterns where we disappeared, the places where we gave and gave until there was nothing left to give. The energy says, good, you've seen it. Now let it settle into you. Not rushing to the next phase, not immediately trying to fix or change or act, just simply allowing what was revealed to become wisdom, to move from the mind into the body, from the knowing into the being. This is exactly the energy of building inner safety. It's not dramatic, it's not fast, it is the patient, faithful daily practice of allowing your body to learn something new. And this energy supports that process with a particular grace. Now, Jupiter, the planet of expansion, abundance, and growth, is currently moving through Cancer, the sign of home, emotional security, nurturing, and the deep inner world. This is one of the most significant backdrops for our work today. Jupiter in Cancer is asking, where is your home? Not the building you live in, not the relationship you left or the one you hope for, but your inner home, the place inside you that you can always return to, the place that belongs entirely to you and cannot be taken away. Jupiter expands whatever it touches. So right now, in this expanding moment, your capacity for emotional safety, for self-nurturing, for building the kind of inner sanctuary that no one else can dismantle is all here for you. This is extraordinary support for the work we're doing today. Now, Saturn, the planet of structure, discipline, and long-term building, sits in Aries this year alongside the Sun. And Saturn in Aries carries a very specific invitation for anyone doing the work of healing. It says that becoming yourself, standing in your own identity, building an inner life that feels solid, will require structure and patience, the willingness to show up even on the days when progress feels impossible. Building inner safety is a Saturn and Aries project. It's not glamorous. It does not happen in one breakthrough moment. It happens in the small, daily, faithful returning to your own body, in the breath you take before you respond, in the hand you place on your heart when the nervous system fires, in the practice week after week of choosing yourself. And Mars, the planet of action and will, is currently in Pisces, the sign of compassion, fluidity, and spiritual depth. Mars in Pisces says the action required right now, it's not forceful. It is not a battle. The way through is tender, intuitive, led by feeling, not strategy. Building inner safety is a Mars and Pisces action, not a war against your nervous system, not a force of calm, but a gentle, compassionate, patient tending to, the way you would tend to something fragile and precious, the way you would tend to yourself if you knew truly that you deserved it, and you do. We remain in a universal year one, which is the energy of identity and new beginnings, the courage to take a step forward as yourself. And we're in the universal month of 5, the energy of change and freedom and breaking free from what contains you. We find that safety and freedom are not opposites. They're the same thing. You cannot be truly free in your body if it doesn't feel safe. And you cannot build a truly new identity, which is a year one self, from a nervous system still running on the old frequencies of danger and survival. The 5 of this month says, the change you seek begins in the body, in the breath, in the daily practice of teaching your nervous system that the new life it's safe to inhabit. I want to start with something that I think will explain a great deal about your experience. When we talk about safety, it's not a place. Whether that is the aftermath of leaving a relationship, a childhood trauma, the weight of chronic stress and anxiety, or simply the exhaustion of a nervous system that's been running on high alert for longer than you can remember. Your nervous system has one job, one extraordinary, unfailing, tireless job, and that is to keep you alive. It does this through a system so ancient and so deeply embedded in the human body that it operates entirely below the level of conscious thought. Before you have registered what is happening in the room, your nervous system has already assessed the threat level, activated the appropriate response, and flooded your body with the chemistry it needs to survive. This system has 4 primary responses. You will have heard of the 3 of them: fight, flight, and freeze. And the 4th is Fawn, and it is one of the most relevant for many of the people in this space. Fawn is the response of appeasement, of making yourself agreeable, accommodating, and visible, of managing the threat, whether that threat is a person, a workplace, a social situation, or simply the relentless pressure of everyday life, by managing yourself into whatever shape the situation requires. All 4 of these responses are brilliant. They are not flaws. They are not weaknesses. They are the body doing exactly what it was designed to do in the face of threat. It could not fight, could not flee from, or could not survive by freezing before. Your nervous system, it did not fail you. It kept you functioning in an environment that required everything it had. Whether that environment was dangerous, chronically stressful, emotionally unpredictable, or simply relentless. The problem is that it doesn't know the environment has changed. Here's what happens when a nervous system has been in a state of chronic threat activation for years or even decades. It recalibrates. It begins to operate as though the threat is permanent, as though relaxation is dangerous, as though stillness is suspicious, as though the absence of crisis is simply crisis that hasn't arrived yet. The body loses its capacity to distinguish between past danger and present safety. It responds to reminders of old threat, a tone of voice, a particular silence, the sound of a key in a door, as though the original danger is happening right now. This is not a failure of perception. This is the body being faithful to the pattern it learned in order to survive. That is why, and I say this with the deepest compassion, so many people find that even when circumstances change, when the relationship ends, when the stressful job is left behind, when the thing that was causing the anxiety is removed, the relief they expected does not immediately arrive. The nervous system doesn't get the memo. It continues to operate on the old frequency, scanning and bracing and waiting, reading peace as threat. Building inner safety means teaching your nervous system gently, patiently, through repetition and somatic practice, that the new environment is safe, that the stillness is not dangerous, that you are allowed to exhale, that you are allowed to be here in this body, in this life, without bracing for what comes next. This teaching cannot happen in the mind alone. The nervous system speaks the language of the body, which is why today's practice and every practice we built together in this series meets you there in the breath, in the sensation, in the body that has been waiting, perhaps your whole adult life, to finally be told, you're safe now, you can rest. Safety is not a destination, it's a practice, a daily, faithful, breath-by-breath practice of teaching your body something it was never allowed to learn. I want to speak to the part of you that is afraid you will never feel safe. The part that has been in survival mode for so long that you genuinely cannot imagine what it would feel like to be at rest. To exist in a body that's not bracing. To move through a day without the low background hum of waiting for something to go wrong. I understand that part completely. I lived there for nearly 40 years. And I want to tell you what I wish someone had told me during those first strange months after I left, when the peace felt wrong and the quiet felt like absence, and my nervous system kept scanning a room that no longer contained a threat. The nervous system is not fixed. It's not fate. It is not who you are. It's a system. An extraordinarily intelligent, incredibly adaptive, and deeply compassionate system that learned what it learned because it had to, because your survival depended on it. And because it is a learned system, it can learn something new, not quickly, not without practice, not without the kind of patient, consistent, loving attention you have perhaps spent your whole life giving to everyone except yourself. But it can learn the science of neuroplasticity, the brain and body's capacity to form new pathways, new patterns, new responses, tells us clearly that the nervous system that was trained into hypervigilance can be trained slowly and with great gentleness into something that resembles peace. Not the absence of feeling, not numbness, but a genuine embodied cellular knowing that you are here, you are safe, and the threat has passed. You are not broken. You are a nervous system that learned the wrong definition of home, and you are learning a new one right now, in this breath. The practices we do together in this series, the hand on the heart, the vagus nerve breath, the orienting to safety, are not just calming techniques, they're lessons. Each time you bring your hand to your heart and feel your own warmth and steady pulse beneath your palm, you are teaching your nervous system something new. You are saying, this is safe. This stillness is safe. The body is safe. This life is safe. It takes repetition. It takes time. But every single practice is a brick. And brick by brick, breath by breath, you are building something that no one can take from you. You are building home. Safety is not a place. It is not a person. It is not something that will arrive when your circumstances finally change. It is something you're building right now, in this space, in this practice, in the faithful returning to your own body that you have been doing every Sunday for 4 weeks now. You are already building it, and you have been all along. Today I want to give you 3 tools, 3 practices that work together as a complete nervous system reset. You may have met some of these in previous episodes. Today we bring them together as a unified practice that you can use anytime, anywhere, and any moment. Your body needs to be reminded that it's safe. So find a comfortable position. Put your feet on the floor if you can. The physical contact with the earth is very grounding. Breathing in and exhaling through your mouth. Breathing in and exhaling. One more time, breathing in and exhale. Now, we're going to talk about the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 orienting practice. This practice works by bringing your nervous system into the present moment, because the nervous system only experiences danger in the past or the future. In the present moment, right now, you're safe. Orienting helps your body locate itself in the now. So look around the space you're in right now, very slowly, without urgency. And you can name silently or aloud 5 things that you can see. Just gently noticing. Perhaps a window, a color, a plant, a piece of furniture, the light. Now name 4 things you can physically feel. Like the weight of your body in the chair, temperature of the room, the texture of your clothes, the ground or the floor beneath your feet. Name 3 things you can hear. What are the sounds? Perhaps the sound of your breath. And name 2 things you can smell, even subtly, even just the neutral scent of the room. And name 1 thing you can taste, or simply notice the inside of your mouth, the moisture, the temperature. And then take 1 slow breath. Notice you are here, in this room, in this body, in this moment. The threat is not here, and you are safe right now. Now let's do the vagus nerve breath. The vagus nerve is the longest nerve in the body. And it runs from your brainstem down through your throat, heart, and digestive system. It is the primary channel through which your nervous system shifts between states of activation and states of rest, and it responds directly to the breath. When the exhale is longer than the inhale, the vagus nerve signals the nervous system to downregulate, to shift from fight or flight into the parasympathetic state of rest and digest and restore. This is not a metaphor. This is physiology. You can change your nervous system state with your breath. That's why you might hear people say sometimes when you're anxious, take a deep breath before we move forward. And that's what they're doing. Some might not even realize why. But the vagus nerve breath will calm the system. So let's breathe in slowly through the nose and hold for the count of 4. And then we're going to hold gently for 2 and exhale slowly through your mouth for the count of 7, which is longer than the inhale. So let the exhale be audible if that feels natural. Let it be a release, perhaps a sigh or a sound. A lot of times when the vagus nerve needs to be stimulated, you can do a voo sound, which sounds like a low, put it deep in your voice, a voo sound. Or sometimes you might do om, or even a sigh of whatever feels comfortable for you. So let's do that. Breathe in through your nose, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 2 and 1, and exhale very slow, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now let's do it one more time. Breathe in for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Holding for 2, 1, and exhale. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now you would typically do this 3 to 5 times, and you would let your shoulders drop, feel your jaw soften, feel something even slightly, even just for this breath, and let it slow you down. This breath is available to you always. You could be driving in the car. You could be in the supermarket before a difficult conversation. In any moment your nervous system fires and your body needs to be reminded we're safe, we can exhale. This is a wonderful way to bring yourself into that present moment and breathe into it to relax your body. So the third one we're going to talk about is the hand on the heart anchor. You know this one now. You have been building it for 4 weeks. Each time you return to it, it becomes more deeply installed, more available, more immediate, and more powerful. So bring one or both hands slowly to rest over your heart. Feel your own warmth. Feel your heartbeat beneath your palm. Steady and faithful, this heart has never abandoned you. Through every storm, every loss, every moment of fear and doubt and survival, it kept its rhythm, it kept going, and it brought you here. So with your hand on your heart, speak these words silently or aloud. I am safe right now. I am learning to feel that safety is in my body. I am building home inside myself. And I am allowed to rest here. These 3 practices together, orienting, vagus breath, and hand on heart, form a complete nervous system reset that you can use in under 3 minutes. Use them together as a morning routine and make it a practice. Use them separately whenever a moment calls for it. And know that every single time you use them, you are laying another brick in the foundation of your inner safety. Now let's begin your guided meditation. Find a comfortable position, perhaps your feet on the ground, if possible. Feel the earth beneath you, solid, patient, unconditional. It has been here far longer than any of your fears. It will be here long after they have passed. Now take one breath in through your nose and a long, slow exhale through your mouth. Let it release. Let out a sigh. Again, breathe in through your nose. And a long sigh, exhale, releasing through your mouth. Begin to feel your body soften, as if gravity is inviting you to let go of just a little of what you've been holding on to. Not forever, just for now, just for this time. You are safe. You are here. And as your nervous system continues to learn that this space is safe, as your body continues to build its new understanding of what peace feels like, let that settle in, because we're going somewhere beautiful today. Begin to feel the energy of this week surrounding you like a warm, patient field. The waning moon is still bright in the sky, not yet diminished, still carrying the full illumination. That light is still working in you, still integrating, still settling into the cells and the bones and the breath, the clarity that arose when it peaked. Jupiter in Cancer wraps around this space like a great nurturing presence, expanding your capacity for safety, for inner home, for the kind of emotional security that belongs entirely to you and cannot be given or taken by anyone else. And as Saturn in Aries stands at your back, steady and structured, saying, what you build today is real, and what you practice today is permanent. The nervous system you are teaching today will carry this lesson forward. You are held by the cosmos in this work. Just know that you are not doing it alone. Now bring your awareness slowly to your body, beginning at the top of your head and moving downward, your scalp and your forehead, and just let it all soften. Your eyes, still behind closed lids, just let them rest. They don't need to scan right now. There's nothing here that requires vigilance. And notice your jaw, that faithful keeper of unspoken words. Let it release just slightly. The words are safe now. You are safe now. Your throat, where the voice lives, where we begin to reclaim it last week. Begin to feel it open just a little bit more. And as your voice continues to find its way home to you, as the pathway between your knowing and your speaking continues to clear. Now focus on your chest and your heart, and bring one hand there now, your anchor. Feel your heartbeat, slow and steady and faithful, and yours. Now focus on your belly, where so much of the fear has lived. The stomach drop, the tightening, the nausea, the readiness. Place your awareness here with the greatest gentleness, for this place has worked so hard for so long. And let it know that it is now allowed to rest. And breathe. And now bring your attention to your legs, feeling them relax. No need to feel like you need to run or walk away. You're safe. Let your legs relax along with your feet, perhaps feeling the ground beneath you and feeling yourself being held in this warm, beautiful energy. Now I want to offer you something, a reframe, a gentle, powerful shift in the story you may have been telling yourself. Your hypervigilance, the scanning, the bracing, the inability to fully relax. It's not a flaw. It's not a weakness. It is not evidence that something is wrong with you. It is loyalty. Your nervous system has been loyal to the environment it learned in, loyal to the version of you that needed this response in order to survive, loyal in the only way it knew how to be, by staying ready, by never letting you be caught off guard, by keeping the alarm system running even on the quiet days. Because on the quiet days in your old life, something was usually about to happen. Now, in this moment, with your hand on your heart and the waning moon above you, and Jupiter wrapping this space in its expansive, nurturing light, I want to invite you to say something to your nervous system, not in frustration, not with the exhaustion of someone who has been fighting it, but with the tenderness of someone who finally understands. You can say these words in your mind or out loud. Thank you. Thank you for keeping me safe in the only way you knew how. Thank you for your faithfulness. And now I'm going to show you something new. And breathe. Now I want to invite you into a visualization. Allow your inner eye to see this with me. Imagine you are standing before the entrance of a house. Not any house you have ever lived in. This one's different. It's entirely yours. Built brick by brick, breath by breath, from the inside out. No one else holds the key. No one else decides what is permitted here. Now step inside. The first thing you notice is the quality of the air. It's so clean and fresh, still, warm and comfortable without being hot. Quiet in a way that does not feel like the quiet before a storm, but simply quiet and peaceful. The quiet of a place where nothing terrible is coming. The quiet of safety. Your nervous system is learning this feeling right now. As you breathe in this air, as you continue to build this inner home, something is being installed, something new. A cellular memory of what peace actually feels like, what home actually feels like. Now walk further inside. Each room represents something you are building. The first room, your body. Go ahead, step in. Notice that in this room, your body is not braced. It is not scanning. It is simply present, alive, at rest. Feel what that is like, even for 10 seconds, even just this approximation of what it might feel like. That approximation is real. Your nervous system is receiving this as real, and so is your subconscious mind. And breathe. Now let's go into the second room. Your voice. You visited this last week. Go ahead and step in it again. Notice it is a little clearer this time, a little more furnished. The voice that was trained into silence is beginning to decorate this space with its own particular truth. Let out a wonderful deep sigh of comfort and relaxation. And now let's go to the third room, your safety. This is the one we're building today. It may be a bit empty still. It may have only a few things in it. A breath, a heartbeat, a hand on your chest, and that's enough. That is a beginning. And every time you practice what we practiced today, you add something to this particular room. Every Sunday you come here, you'll be bringing another brick. And breathe. And with your hand still on your heart, bring to mind the feeling you have right now, the relative softness, the warmth of your own palm, the sound of your own breath, and give this feeling a color. Whatever comes up, don't think, just notice what color is this feeling of safety. Now let that color expand from your chest outward, through your shoulders, down your arms, into your belly, down through your legs and into the ground. You are now breathing that color, your own particular frequency of safety into every cell of your body. And now, in whatever way feels right, let these words land in that colored, warm, expanding safety. As my nervous system continues to learn what safety feels like, as I continue to build my inner home brick by brick and breath by breath, and as my body continues to release the patterns that kept me surviving and opens to the patterns that allow me to live, as I continue to choose myself, Sunday after Sunday, week after week, day after day, practice after practice, I am already home. And breathe and let that land in your body, in your bones, in your nervous system. It's learning right now that this is what safety feels like. Now slowly and gently begin to feel the room around you returning, the weight of your body, the ground beneath your feet. And keep your hand on your heart for one final breath. Feel the anchor that has been building for 4 weeks now, deeper with each practice, more available, more immediate. This hand on your heart is yours. Take it with you everywhere. And take one final slow breath in through your nose and a long exhale through your mouth. And when you're ready, slowly and gently begin to open your eyes, taking your time. There's no rush. The house of safety is inside you. It goes wherever you go. And every single day, every breath, every practice, every Sunday you return here, you are adding to it. Now, before you return to your day for one final moment, feel your feet on the floor. Feel the weight of your body in your seat. This is the ground. This is the present moment. This is the only place the nervous system can truly find rest. Take one vagus nerve breath, breathing in through the nose for 4, 3, 2, 1, holding for 1, 2, and exhaling through the mouth, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hand on heart, say it one more time. I am building a home inside myself. That is enough. That is everything. Now take a moment before you stand up and return to your day, feeling the quiet but very real sense that something in your body is just a little more settled than it was an hour ago. And that is not imagination. That is your nervous system receiving new information. That is you building it. 4 Sundays, 4 layers of coming home. You have planted, you have tended, you have found your voice, and today you have begun to build the inner safety that makes all of the rest possible. These are not small things. These are the foundations of a life that's truly yours. You are not who you were. You are becoming who you were always meant to be. This is Soul Whispers, and you, beautiful, brave, building your home soul, you are already home. If today's episode reached something in you, if you felt your nervous system receive even one new message, please subscribe if you haven't already so you never miss a Sunday. Share this with someone, anyone, whose body deserves to learn that stillness is safe. And if you feel called to go deeper in your healing, the link below will tell you how. And next Sunday, we'll be on episode 5, The Anger That Went Underground. And next week, we'll go somewhere that I know many of you have been quietly waiting for, because there is something underneath the hypervigilance, something underneath the scanning and the bracing and the chronic state of high alert, something that all the managing and people-pleasing and the survival was protecting you from having to feel. And that is anger. Real anger. The kind that is not destructive but clarifying. The kind that says, this was not acceptable, I deserve better, and I am allowed to know that. So many of the people who find their way to this space have been disconnected from their anger for years. Not because they aren't angry, but because anger, whether in a relationship, a workplace, a family, or simply a life that taught them early that their feelings were inconvenient or weren't safe to express. And so it went underground. It turned inward. It became anxiety or depression or a disease. Exhausting work of managing everyone else's feelings to prevent the room from igniting. So next Sunday, we bring it up. We name it. We give it space. And we learn to let it be what it always was. Not a danger, but a guide. Your anger is not something to be afraid of. It is information. It is the part of you that always knew. And next Sunday, we finally let it rise. So until then, use the 3 pillars I gave you. Orient, breathe, hand on heart. Every single day if you can. You are building something permanent. And remember, my friend, you are already home. Love and hugs. Till next week.